Yo, what's up? Good morning, good morning. Sorry for the late start today. Had some things to take care of. So let's see here. We ended on a pretty bad note yesterday. Not in the way of a unsolvable problem, but more like I had to run in the middle of writing some new functions. So we're gonna start today by fixing these compiler errors. Yo, what's up, Antonino? Good morning, good morning. And Darker Rio, what's up? So, yesterday we introduced something that I should have introduced a while back, but we haven't really had the need for it. But now, when we're connecting multiple different systems, we need it. And it's something called an attribute-based value. And let me just summarize it real quick before we continue. And good morning, Harukanan. So, all of the different components that controls an entity will have a lot of values that decides how they do something. Just think of something simple as walk. So when you walk, you usually have a variable that is walk speed. And usually, or the go-to solution is to just have a private float walk speed, maybe even serialize it so you can set it from the editor, and then you use that one in the class. These entities, however, they have like some main attributes, think strength, energy, intelligence, and so on. And those attributes will affect walk speed, and that's what we have attribute-based value for. So an attribute-based value is pretty much just an attribute reference, so which attribute is this affected by, and then we have the value range. So for instance, walk speed would be maybe have a value range of 1 and 2, and attribute, let's say, energy. So if we have full energy, we walk at a pace of 2. If we have no energy, we walk in a pace of 1, and so on. And then hopefully we might even make this even more complicated. But we'll see about that. Yo, what's up, Code Cube? So in our current implementation, we have action move rigid body, which moves our blobs around. And I don't know if we finalized the rotation. Yeah, I think we did. But not these. Okay. What old GPU do you have, CodeCube? Okay, so all we need to do here is get the value instead. So we just do this, and for these as well. And when we get the value, that's when we calculate something based on the attribute. Okay, so that was one issue. Let's see what more we have. Okay, it's taking its time. There we go. Oof, that one sucks. Let's see if we can fix this one. Okay, we need to, when we create a new action like this, we need to add one of these, so the settings for the rigid body. And I don't think we finished this either yesterday, so let's jump to creature definition. And previously we had okay, we don't have it here. Maybe in here. Yeah, we had a lot of temporary. Not here. Here, we had a lot of temporary solutions here, and we still do. We're gonna move these to their final destination this time around, which is gonna be in creature definition. So we have interactability here, which is interactions, and it's gonna be actions and interactions eventually. Honestly, I forgot what GPU it is. CodeCube might be one of the most productive people. So, we definitely need a constructor like this, but we're probably not gonna use it this time around. This one is old. But we're gonna do... Yeah, we have the setup here. Great. So, given the fact that we have defined actions here, we should be able to define... I'm a little bit scared of this one though. Let's see if we can fix all errors and then reopen Unity worst case. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did we actually... Okay, yeah, we did not finish this one yesterday, so let's do it real quick. Movement max distance value, and then we have movement time, move time, rotation time value. Okay, the distance, so we're gonna do something very similar to this. The distance times movement time value, and we have movement post time value. Okay, do we have any errors left? Okay, we can wait with these. Beautiful. Let's see. So, creature blob definition, and then we have actions here. Let's see if it works. We add one, and we have action move rigid body, default constructor not found. Default constructor. Then we create the default constructor. And attribute based value. I think we are gonna do attribute definition. Yo, what's up, Pairbender? Public class, public static attribute definition. Do I want to introduce null attribute? That's good. Attribute unit none. Bounds 0.1. Pairbender, I've always wanted to make a good one but failed a bunch. Haven't we all? Haven't we all? I'm using Unity as my engine, and AI so far I've only been used for the coding part. I'm a little bit of a control freak, so slowly but surely I'm incorporating it more and more. I'm still not ready to use it together with any engine stuff, but coding, it has proved itself tremendously, at least for game logic stuff and rudimentary geometry stuff. I've never done anything resembling vibe coding. As I said, I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I try to understand most of, usually all of it, before I actually like use it or build upon it again, right? But like if you wrote OpenGL and C++, you should have the understanding to like be able to parse whatever it outputs and see if it's good or not. Okay, let's do this. Because in our default constructor, we want setup. Do we actually need setup in here? I don't. We do. And then we're going to go attribute based value. Can we just do this instead, actually? Attribute definition. New attribute based value instance. Oh yeah, we need one of these. Actually, this one I want to have here. And we want to do new attribute based value. Do we need? There we go. New attributes based value, empty, new range. And then we can do it like this. Parabender, I tried engines, but I always get confused about like what should be created with the UI versus what should be a script. Yeah, I remember that being like the initial problem I faced as well. Attribute-based value, oh, that's what we want. Let's do it like this. But like watching a few official Unity tutorials usually helps a lot with that. Define boilerplate. Attribute based value empty. Attribute based value empty range 0, 1. And then we can use this one. Here. There we go. Well, attribute-based value sounds like nothing. What do you mean? It's all in the name. It's all in the name. And then we pretty much just want to place all of these. CodeCube, I'm debating making a devlog now. All I have is a noisy corner box renderer. Should I make that now or later? I feel you're a good person to ask video advice because your videos are the best. Thank you, appreciate it. Fuck yeah, bro. Make as many videos as you can, but keep them high quality, you know? Like, the fact is that you can make pretty good high quality videos going in depth of the smallest things, you know? So a noisy kernel box renderer, even though I don't know exactly what that is, that sounds like a good 10 to 15 minutes video, 100%. Antonino, yesterday I had a difficult conversation with my best friend. During it he said, in the line of, we're not meant to make games together, blaming me for many things. I genuinely thought about quitting game dev. Fuck man, that sucks. But right, it might be a good thing as well, you know? Maybe you're not meant to make games with your best friend. Just be best friends. Parabender Shader Toy is a good platform for doing ray tracing, etc. Am I confusing it with something else? It's just Shader Toy, a website where you can upload, or where you can show off your shaders. Ah, you can also build them there. Okay. Okay, so now we have one of these, and I'm okay with that. I just wonder how attribute-based values, when we try and get the value. empty. When we try and get a value of this one, attribute, it should be okay. Okay, let's see if our custom editor tool properly renders our action move rigid body here then. Please. So now we have action move rigid body here, and we have setup. We have rotation time range, rotation max degrees, rotation jump multiply, rotation angle error, movement time, movement max distance, etc, etc. So let's see if we can set these up in a cool way. What do we have here? Must be essentially using the scriptable create instant method instead of... let's take a look at this one then. What is it complaining about? Create scriptable object create. Oh yeah. Can we do it like this then? Scriptable object create instance. Let's see here. ID string empty 000. Attributes unit should be none. Bounds should be, and maybe we can do it like this actually. I don't really care about how the empty works. It's just a failsafe. Hairbender, why are you creating all these attribute thingies? Because part of the game is actually like more like a simulation, a monster simulation. So every monster is gonna have a set of attributes, and I'm not talking 4 or 5 attributes, I'm talking 20 or maybe even upwards of 50 attributes. You have like strength, agility, intelligence, those things. You have energy, saturation, hydration, similar things. You have attributes, how they taste. A monster might be sweet, a little bitter, but definitely not sour. And on and on and on it goes. And these attributes are going to be used throughout the entity. So if the monster wants to jump, it's going to fetch a couple of attributes and calculate a jump value and do that action, and so on. If we used raw types, we would have... I can't even imagine how many duplicated lines of code we would have in this code base. So you're talking about like having... I don't even want to imagine it, man. So like a class with 20 fields for each possible attribute. If you think about it a few steps, you will probably realize why that is not a feasible way to do it. So we're gonna have different creatures. Some creatures might not have some of the attributes, or they will utilize the attributes in different ways. So for instance, let's say we have strength. Blobs, for instance, they will use strength to jump because it uses the whole body, right? So their movement is strength based. But then you have another creature that just walks normally. And that will not use strength to walk. Yo, what's up, Diablo? ECS, I've never worked with it, but like these data structures we are defining right now will or could be used together with ECS. ECS, I would say, comes a little bit later. Pair bender, so are the attributes like used for containment or something? What do you mean containment? So what we use them for, if we jump to, so action move rigid body, this is a component, or no, actually a class that is used to move a blob around. And for moving the blob properly using physics, we need a lot of these values. Rotation time, movement time, max distance, error tolerance, you name it. It's just that these values, so it's not going to be one fixed value. It's going to vary depending on how the blob is feeling and so on. So movement max distance, how far the blob can jump, that's strength based, which means that depending on how much strength the blob has, it's going to be able to jump further or shorter, right? But strength is also affected by the level of energy and saturation. So if you have a blob that is very strong and is full and has full energy, then it's going to be able to jump very far. But if you have but then maybe he doesn't get anything to eat for a while, his energy is going to drop, his strength is going to be affected, and he won't be able to jump as far. Where is this game logical? Where is it going to go? I don't know what you mean by that question. But okay, let's set these up. Initially, I'm just gonna try it with strength. Yo, what's up, Vintrix? Isn't my YouTube chat showing up? There we go. Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of a problem with the chat display on screen. Not my library, mind you. Okay. Oh yeah, this sucks. So what do we want to do here? How do we want to get around this? Do they mean that we should be doing this? Public, static, and then we do public void on enable. Feels a little bit iffy. CodeCube, yeah, like tech moves in extremely fast, but I don't know, feels like it roughly does the same now than it did in 2007. Better camera. The software is so... It feels like it's so way, way, way more bloated than it was back then, you know? It does the same, but so much faster. Yeah, most of the stuff it does faster. But okay, let's see. Creature blob definition, rotation time range, type mismatch. Let's see if we can fill this out. Data, attributes, general. Okay, we have strength here, that's good. Yo, are we... Okay, that's not the way to go. Okay, I'm okay with type mismatch. I meant the game logic has to go somewhere, like the strength affecting jumping, etc. Yeah, so that part of the game logic is in action, move, rigid body. So down here we have a processing method that checks. We have a point, that is our goal. We check distance, and if we're far away, we try to rotate towards it, and then we jump towards. So, like, this is a component or a script that handles. I try to keep my scripts like one purpose, although that it's most of the time pretty hard. And this one moves a rigid body by jumping and rotating. CodeCube, one thing I love about Apple is their design, though. It's influenced me so much. Fuck yeah. They do some beautiful products. Although the protruding camera is like my number one itch, or whatever you call it. Fucking hate it. Diablo Project uses Rev for something to become actually faster. Yeah, it feels like the hardware is definitely faster, but then like they add more and more features to the software, so it doesn't, in reality, it doesn't actually become faster. Like my best example is, like I have this MacBook Pro that is quite old these days. I think it's from 14 or something like that, 2014. I remember buying it and I remember using like GitHub on it, just Chrome and GitHub, and it was so very, very fast. It was beautiful. These days, like just surfing GitHub is slow. Like, I mean, it's the same hardware, but the software has become so bloated, I guess. But okay, let's see here. Rotation time range, was that the first one I was gonna do? Expecting GitHub to be anything but absolute garbage is a big ask. It was actually pretty fucking beautiful back in the days. Okay, so rotation time range, we base this on strength, and it's gonna have a value between 0.4 and 1. Okay, and 1, that's our rotation time range. Then we have rotation max degrees. We're just gonna base everything on strength this time around. It's gonna have a max degrees, so we just had a pure value of 80 here. I'm gonna go with... I think we're gonna go pretty low here. So as the blob gets hungrier and has less energy, the strength is gonna be affected and become lower and lower. So if it barely has any strength, it's gonna, if it wants to rotate, it's gonna have to make many small jumps instead of one big one. So we're gonna, smallest one is gonna be 20 and biggest one is gonna be 90 degrees. And then we have rotation jump multiplier range 0.5 and 2, that's good. Then we have angle error tolerance. So basically this one is probably more going to be based on agility eventually. Cody Cube also, like, what is the rule? 2-1, 2 backups locally, 1 backup outside, unlocal. Rotation angle tolerance. So the more tired it gets, I'm saying tired because tired affects strength, but this is going to be agility eventually, but the more error prone is this rotation. So min rotation angle tolerance, we actually want to do this the opposite way. Does it work with our current? So we want a smaller value to be the upper bound, so to speak. I don't know if we have the support for that. Maybe we do. Range. Min, max. No, we don't. Cody Cube, my outside backup is my friend's NAS. Okay, as long as it exists, I guess. So. It's this one that screws us, because we can do lerp with these flipped. This one will also be wrong, I suppose. Okay, so for now, let's do... So rotation error tolerance, it's going to be a future me problem. Diablo, why do you have a giant Copilot window open but you don't use it? Sometimes I use it. What the fuck, man? I've been streaming for like 40 minutes. High five. Yeah, let's go with that. Strength, movement, time range, what do we have? 0.41. Max distance, we had 4. Let's go with 2 and 5. It's just strange that you're not closing it while you're not using it. Then I have to reopen it when I'm going to use it. And that takes precious time. Error tolerance range. So I guess it's this one. We are gonna do, yeah, let's just go with 1.1. Free time 0.1. And post time we had at 0.5. Antonino, thank you for stopping by, appreciate it. VS Codium, what is VS Codium? Codicube. Okay, something like this. That's our action rigid body, action move rigid body. Hopefully, this is correct setup and we can continue. And then we also had focus, needs no additional setup. We had, I think that's all we need actually for this one. So now we have action, move, rigid body, and focus. Creature. Let's see. Animate entity. Yo, what's up, Derek? VS Codium is VS Code without the AI and trackers. This one has helped quite a lot in the past. I think I'm gonna lean into it. Trackers, since I'm using GitHub, they have it all anyway. I have this extremely rare issue with VS Code, though, which is driving me nuts. I'm seriously, this is like the first thing that has made me want to switch from VS Code, because it's a major thing. And it's this one. My VS Code, no matter if I have all the correct settings and I reinstall it, will show git diff gutter decorations. Git works, we can see here that it tracks okay, etc, etc, but I don't have any gutter decorations, and it's insane. There's actually an open issue related to this. A few other people has the same problem, and they are currently working on it, but I mean, it has been like this for 5 months or something like that. It's insane. Animate entity we should have previously, so we're gonna do it like this. And then we want to we're gonna leave this one. Our definition here has a set of actions. this is the next problem. Let's see here. So the actions we define here yeah, that's a problem. We don't want to define the actions. We want to do we don't want to have the actions here. What we want to have instead is unfortunately, I would say, is this action move rigid body setup. So much like this, I would love to have... Yo, good morning, Geralt. Diablo project just used Rider, is free for non-commercial and much better at most of the things C#. Yeah, a lot of people have tried to push Rider on me. I don't know. Is it possible to have like a big Copilot window open that you don't use in Rider? Because that is a must-have for me. So the problem here is that we have a scriptable object, we have a list of actions. If we define the actions there, we're gonna have a problem. Like, we actually create the action instances. We just want to have action setups there. But then, gonna have... So I'm thinking of doing... I think we're gonna do it like this. Action list, action state, action type. Action setup. CodeCube, I prefer to have a setup where I can disconnect my internet and be able to operate as normal. Yeah, that would rule. But like, for running these big AI models locally, you're gonna have to have an extremely powerful rig. Or a lot of time, I guess. And then we want to change this one to class. Something like this. Because. we're gonna do creature definition, game action setup. Yeah, fuck, let's keep it like this. Because this is like our static data container, which defines how a creature is instantiated. We don't want to have any actual action instances here. Is that true, CoderCube? Is that true? Yeah, we need to serialize this shit. Or actually, we need to do it. Now, if you say it's true, I believe you. Fuck, now we have to do this again. Oh well, let's just do it quick. Now we can do it like this. Okay. Oh well, what did we have? 1, 2, rotation max degrees, 20, 90, jump multiply range. Angle error 5. Movement time. Well, this one we actually want to make slower if we're more tired, I think. Max distance 0.5. 2. Diablo Project, thank you for trying. CodeCube only drawback is less context size. So then I guess you don't have similar benchmark results, only if you have a small context size. So similar benchmark, and then that little star icon, astrophy, under certain constraints. Okay, so now we have something like this, and I don't know, am I ready to test this shit show? No, I'm not, because creature definition, creature instance, creature here. So add action. We want to remove this one as well. We're not going to use that one. We're not going to use this. And then we do, we actually do this. For each Game action setup in definition actions. Create action if action is not equal to null. I don't care about checking those things, so we're gonna do... I'm just gonna take this one, put it here, one of those, and we want to change that one to this. Diablo project, I can't even imagine dedicating a GPU for local AI models if you're not running them 24/7. Same here. So, when we instantiate a creature, we add the animate entity through our graph. Ooh, I don't like the name of this. So, we generate our blob through this graph, and we end, or at the very end, we add an animate entity, which I think should work. And then we add the creature. And when we add the creature component, we instantiate, or after we have the creature, we instantiate it using the definition, and from the definition we instantiate the set of actions that the blob can do. The problem being that we need to make this with interactables as well, but that can wait. I just want to see now if we get our blob without issues and without errors. No, we don't. And then I wonder what happened with my transparency here, but that doesn't matter. So we do get our blob, but we get our blob with soft body handler, body definition, animator, attribute handler, animate entity, with a action move rigid body, and creature and agent instance. Which makes me wonder. Playable action handler. Okay, interesting. In what way did I screw up? Okay, so we can't really do anything with the character right now. Oh, yeah, I know why. Let's do focus and... we're gonna pull the the character prefab from our Git later on. But for now, let's just do action third inspect. Let's see if this works. Don't we get our nice little inspect window? Oh well. So our blob should work, shouldn't it? Actually, we have the inspect window somewhere. Action move rigid body. Let's see. Setup. Okay, this is nice. The setup works. But I wonder if we're actually using it. Yeah, we have. I'm wondering, we probably don't want to keep setup around. Instead, we want to create attribute-based value instances. Do it like that. Maybe we. Because what I want to do is create these instances. Yeah. But then we need the attribute handler, which we have, which we don't have just yet. Okay, I get it. Instantiate host, instantiate specifics, instantiate dependencies. Which makes me want to do it like this. What is it? Base host. Something like this. Problems I would say is this, because what I want to do eventually, or what I want to do instead is, and that's exactly what I want to do. But not really. Let's see, rotation time range. We want to send in a definition and an attribute instance. Something like this. Okay. And then we skip this setup, but I just wonder how we're gonna handle it. I'm just wondering how we're gonna handle it. Down here. I guess we could do instantiate attribute dependencies. Beautiful. We do it like this. It's probably better to have it this initially. That should be the setup we need. I wonder. If I actually like this flow. But if we're gonna define the actions in the scriptable objects, which I think is the way to go, then we definitely need to have this setup container. Not container, but which means that this can be reused a lot, which it will be. The problem is, yeah, when we create the action in question, we do need a host reference because we need to fetch a lot of attributes. Yeah. Do we have... We don't have... Playable toggleable action, which are place, inspect, focus. How do I want to solve this? Playable action focus. I'm not that happy with how this is implemented from the get-go. So this is going to change. So I wonder if we can just do a little bit of a hack like this. Which I'm not that happy with. That's a problem, definitely. Still no movement from the blob. And I think I know why. Good question, CodeCube. I have no idea. So I'm a little bit perplexed over the fact that we don't have strength here, or I think the blob doesn't have strength. So when we do this, we don't actually find anything here. Get value or default. It should be null, I think. Yeah, definitely. And what happens then? Attribute base value instance. We should have an issue here. Enjoy that sleep, CodeCube. And thank you for dropping by as always, appreciate it. Okay, yeah, that's weird. It should have a target at least. Playable action handler. I don't care about that one right now. So here we have a beautiful point. Blob, 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 blob. Action move, rigid body. We do have a point. But we probably never process it because, okay. Could it be add action? We never properly instantiated. Okay, let's see if we get any errors from this. Attribute instance, none. Value 0. Okay. That explains it. Okay, so the pairing of attributes, yeah, I don't think... First of all, we don't have a strength attribute on the blob right now. That might have something to do with it. And then we need to worry a little bit about the order of execution. So the attributes, attribute handler, let's see. Attribute users. We do this in start. I don't think we have any other option. That means that this has to be made after start. So we can put it yeah, the thing is, so we have an attribute handler, and maybe we should have some attributes defined there. It's just that if we have attributes like taste, they should be defined in the interactable. But that means that the attribute handler needs to find attribute users first, right? Or I guess it's called attribute holders. It needs to find it and set it up, and then other components can try and fetch it. Because we might actually have an action that depends on one of those action or attributes. And maybe when we generate the creatures like this, it might be a better option to not rely as much on the awake and start methods, and instead manually call them. I.e., we go through attribute handler, instantiate and fetch all attributes. Then we go to the action handler, instantiate all of those things. Like building it here. Or even better, actually, building it here. Creature blob visual generation. And that would include like best case scenario honestly would be to have pretty much everything in this one. Pretty much skipping this one altogether, actually. Creature definition. Creature generation runtime graph. Serialized reference, serialized abstract selectable, scriptable object. Okay. That would be pretty fucking cool, actually. Yeah, maybe. Could define it here, like keeping everything in one place. But unfortunately with this version at least, it doesn't look like there's an easy way to do that. But we can still do, so add animate entity. We can add a body here as well. We can add the attribute handler. I'm pretty sure. I think so. Yeah, fuck it, let's try it. Body definition animator, this one is not required. Oh yeah, we want it. That's probably going to be moved to the body eventually. Because if we build it in the graph, then we can move things like this. Into either like a type of instantiate method or Yeah, and then we have things like this. Which we want to set through the graph either way, I think, or yeah. But okay, let's wait with these and let's start with attribute handler. Yeah. So it's pretty much like this. Actions uses attributes, and interactables provides attributes. But initially we can do it like this. We're gonna add this to the to-do. So let's define attribute handler acquired attributes. Yeah, the thing is that we want to generate attributes as well, randomly. Based on the seed, which means that we probably want to keep it in the graph. Most likely. Okay. which means that we want to use lists, and lists don't exist in my current version of Graph Toolkit, so that's gonna have to wait. Let me just write this down. So for now, I'm just gonna do this. And then we do animate entity. We're gonna have to do it like this. Attribute handler, starting attributes. That should make sure that our strength attribute for the blob is instantiated when we start adding shit eventually. Or when we start adding actions that rely on these attributes. That's what I hope. All quite temporary. Let's see here then. Oh yeah, we might want specify it in definitions as well. Okay, so maybe a better option would be get attribute, add attributes. Okay, let's do it like this then. this, eventually I would like to move this to the graph toolkit. I think I would like to have everything related to the generation or the creation of a monster in one place. I'm still wondering if that's possible with like abstract types like our actions, unfortunately. We're gonna have to do something about that, but it would be nice to be able to do. Okay, now then when we introduce like subgraphs and stuff like that. So you have one subgraph that handles the visuals of it, but you also, except for, so the output of that one is a game object, but you also output specific visual stuff like hold points and colliders and stuff like that, which you can then enter into. So we're probably gonna have add animate entity, add body, add agent, add action handler, and on it goes. But for now, we're gonna have to settle with defining this in the definition itself. And then we have attribute generators. Let's add one. And I want to generate a strength attribute. Let's just do 0. Oops. Let's give it a strength of 0.5, 0.5. And let's see if we actually get this. Oh, now we have a problem here. Okay. Animate entity, attribute handler, starting attributes. Yeah, that's one is empty. Which makes me think that oh yeah. Ooh, did I actually see it move? Let's see. Blob. Action move, rigid body. Okay. Bug. Rotation time, attribute, strength. And I want to know about attribute instance, strength, value. Okay, beautiful. Now we actually have the references set up accordingly. So we should be able to use these values. But it still doesn't want to move. All of these has valid values. I'm pretty sure. Movement max distance. Yes. One meter, yeah, it should be okay. Movement pre-time. It should be okay. Current time limit, pre-jump done. What am I missing? State ready as well. We have a reference to the attribute handler, great. So we listen to input handler here currently. We set target. If that one is set. And we I'm wondering if we're gonna double check if this was the issue, but yeah, let's try it. This is also temporary because it's the agent that is going to send a message eventually. Yeah, it over rotates as hell, but that's okay. And it's strength based. Can we do? Wonder why it over rotates that much. Rotation time, min max. it should also wait. It should rotate and wait before it jumps. Let's take a quick look. So timer seems to work. Yeah, it checks if it's already at the target. If not, we continue and we get angle to target. Just do a simple angle calculation. Yeah, what's up, Scafer? And if angle is greater than rotation angle error tolerance, I'm wondering if this one fails or if rotate. Okay, first of all, I want to double check rotation angle tolerance. Rotation angle error tolerance is 5 and 5. We have a strength value of 0.5. So no matter what actual strength value we have, rotation angle error tolerance should be 5. So if our current angle is bigger than this, then we rotate. Math app's good. Rotation max degrees. We get the value if this one is bigger than that. Rotation. Rotation max degrees is 20 or 90. 0.5 or probably right in the middle. But here we just clamp it, so that's angle target, yes. T angle rotation time. So we have 1.5. Oh, okay. Let's see here. When we get the value here, local normalized value, inverse lerp value. This one is 0.5. Bounds are 0 and 1, and it should be 0.5. Turn R here. Yeah, that should be correct. feels like R here comes down extremely small. So T rotation. Do we want to do a lerp here? But then it's not T rotation, is it? T angle. Okay, yeah, this one is wrong. So this is the max we can rotate, this is the smallest we can rotate. So we find out how big of a rotation is this between 0 and 1. Don't we just want to skip T rotation and do T angle instead? So this is the angle we're gonna jump. It's clamped to our max degrees. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. This is supposed to be the rotation. The actual rotation. I can't even start to explain this physical equation here. I think this is the only error we did. T rotation, because a T angle is pretty much our T rotation. Let's try it. Okay, that's good. I would like to see a little bit more force when we're rotating, however. Force upward, that is. So we can do it like this. Rotation, jump, multiply, range. 0.1 and 1. That's extremely low. So I guess we're gonna do... we're talking about this one right here. T angle. Rotation jump force multiplier. We multiply it with mass. We don't want it to be too big. Let's go with 1.5 and 2. That's a little bit bigger, but a little bit bigger. And if we rotate it mid-jump, it's going to start lining itself before it jumps further. Alright, sadly I need to go to work. Thank you for dropping by as always, appreciate it. And you too, have a great day. And thanks for watching. Like, I think I have so many things on my to-do, but one thing I would like to do with the blob soft body system is just maybe less bones is the way to go. Just keep them to 8 or something like this, but place them in a better way. Unfortunately, we won't get... Yeah, that would reduce sticking and stuff like that. But yeah, that's later. That's far down on my to-do list. I think 1.5 is a little bit too small here as well. We're gonna go with... Let's go with 4 and 6. Definitely too big, I think. Bucket 3 and 5. Okay, that's not important. Okay, so now we're back where we were, but this time around, strength actually affects it. So let's try and do this. We are gonna jump to... How do I want to do this? Let's do... Let's make action move rigid body into a attribute user. I thought it was attribute attribute user. And what we need to have is just these two, so we're gonna add 2 of those. Then again, we're gonna have to define this somewhere. Let's do it like this. Attribute instance is equal to new. This one is going to be empty. private set, the other way around. Thought and we do it like this. Same here, new attribute function. But here, new attribute function. Can we scheduler? I relied too much on the Unity editor setup previously. I would love to be able to set this one up through just creating a new one. Attribute function scheduler. Also. Okay, fuck it. Let's do it like this then. What do we have to work with? Blob definition, attribute generate. Ooh, yeah. Let's do it like this. Creature definition. Let's just do attributes public, attribute function, attribute functions. And then we should be able to do creature definition, creature, for each attribute function here, add attribute function. Okay, beautiful. Then we define an attribute function in the creature definition for now. Although we definitely want to keep it in the class that actually uses it. Action rigid body move is gonna have attribute functions, but it's gonna be energy. So every jump, every rotation is gonna basically cost energy for the entity that does it. But let's see here, attribute functions, let's add one. It's gonna be default constructor. Yeah. Attribute function scheduler by event, scheduler by time. Isn't it? Is it actually I attribute user attribute function scheduler action? Why doesn't this one appear? We have a scheduler by time. Where is our action? So I guess the problem is action. Yeah, it's Yeah. Is this enough? Okay, we have one here. We have a scheduler. It's going to be by time. So every 1 second, I want to modify strength. No. I want to modify strength by subtracting .1. Every second we lose 0.1 strength. That might be, let's do 5 seconds, because I want to see if we can test this. I'm just gonna double check so this setup is the correct one. Body attributes. Energy. Player movement. Here we have. Yeah, attribute type source none. Energy subtraction default 1. Time every second. Okay. Strength went down. Yeah, strength went down. We can see that it jumps smaller and smaller and smaller. And by the end of it, I wonder if it's going to be able to move at all, actually. Strength 0.1. Strength. Now it's 0, but it's still moving. Yeah, it's always gonna be able to move, but this is like the smallest possible values for all of them. I mean, it definitely looks weaker, but it looks like it has a lot of energy left. Makes sense. We're gonna add an additional layer of complexity to this, I think, because I'm wondering, like, I'm gonna have to think about this one. But if we take the movement for this blob, for instance, action, move, rigid body. Like energy, do I want energy to affect energy affects strength, strength affects these things, but like, yeah, we can see the blob getting weaker and weaker as time goes by. So by this logic, if energy is at 0, strength is going to be at its lowest. But I mean, Yeah, the blob looked weak, but it also looked like it has a lot of energy, which means that we want to change these attributes or these values or properties based on energy as well. So movement time here. Strength is gonna make movement max distance go down, but time here, maybe time should just be, if we make time depend on energy. Let's see how it looks. So blob definition, let's add oh, here we actually had strength. Expertise, energy. Let's add energy here. 0 and 100. Blob definition. Energy. 0 and 100. And then we do attribute functions. Let's add one more. Scheduler. Yeah, let's do 5 for this one as well. And then we do 1 here, but it's going to be energy. Subtraction, we're going to subtract with 1. And then we jump to, I still want to be here, definition, but we want to jump to actions, and then we make screw the rotation for now, but we have movement time range. Oh fuck, I want to make this one go up. So this is gonna be like an inverted range. Let's jump to range real quick. Min max, lerp, delta. So for delta I would like to do max bigger than min. If so, do max this one, otherwise do min max. Yeah, this is okay. Set bounds. Lerp works. Inverse lerp works, I think. Clamp. Wait, what are we checking here? If so, we do this, otherwise we do that. Okay. Remap, inverse lerp and lerp. Yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, and we use range here, so it should be okay here. Okay, so now we should be able to define a range that actually has min and max, not the best naming for this now, but we should be able to define movement time range. So if we have movement time range, we're going to make it depend on energy. So if we have a lot of energy, it's going to be quick. If we This is unfortunately also gonna make the jump. Oh, you know what? Let's keep this one as is. And then we do, just for now, we do movement, pre-time range, strength. This one is energy. So if we have a lot of energy, we do 0.2. If we have a small amount of energy, we do 1 second. So the further this goes, the longer between jumps, basically. Energy 60. We change strength and energy. So now we have 57 energy. I don't know if I'm really seeing. Are we using pre-jump here is my question. Doesn't seem like it. We set it up accordingly, but we don't really use it. Okay. Pre-jump done. If distance, value timer, current time. Current time limit 0.1. And then we add force here. That's a little bit unfortunate. This force. Yeah, so what we're gonna see now is when the pre-time gets longer, we're gonna see a force being added downwards and then we jump. We want to handle that eventually, but movement pre-time dot value. Now we should see a little bit of a delay, I think. What is our start delay value? Movement pre-time range, so 0.2. I don't know. should be seeing a 212. Of course. Pre-jump done. But then again... Oh yeah, then we go through here instantly. Okay. So we want to return here. And then let's make the energy drain a little bit quicker. So not every 5 seconds, but every second pretty much. Energy. Yo, do we have... Let's screw this up. Energy. Strength. Yo. Interesting. Really? That's not good. What the fuck? In what way are these two connected? This is true for, let's see, delta time 5, let's do 2. It's true for this one as well. This has to be with the editor drawing, I think. And 5. Less than 1, okay. I'm wondering. Serialize reference abstract selectable. There's something wrong with the serialization. Just a drawing of it. Added a constructor to What was it? This one. And this one. I'm gonna do this for now. Okay, still the same problem. Okay, that's a sucky problem to have. I'm gonna have to dig deeper into that one. Unfortunately, I need to run now. But I love to see the attributes actually affecting the, move properties in our move rigid body. So that's nice progress. We'll be back on Monday. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and have a great rest of the week. Peace.